Hey y'all, it's Tracy with Mama's Comfort Cooking. Aren't I looking all islandish today? Yes, I am. You know why? Because I just made you some curry, chicken, and dumplings. These right here, as a matter of fact. Get in there. The curry chicken and the dumplings. Oh my goodness. Along with 4 pieces of chicken in here. We've got wings in here. Honey, the flavor is truly in the bone. So, some of my pieces are full-fledged chicken. Okay? A 4-piece of chicken. But these are the curry, chicken, and dumplings. Look at that whole wing right there. Just bursting out. Ready to come off that bone. Honey, you want to know how to make them? Okay. We're going to get ready. So you make sure you watch this video and you can thank me later. I love y'all. Yes, I do. So let's get into this skillet and start making these curry, chicken, and dumplings. First, we're going to start off with just a little canola oil in this skillet. What we're going to do is we're going to add our seasonings in here. And we're going to add a half a stick of real butter. We're going to get that melting. And then we're going to sear the seasonings that we're going to use. We're going to use curry. We're going to use some ground turmeric. Some garlic herbs and spices. And we're going to start off this way. This is to just let the flavors get into the chicken before we begin to add our water and our vegetable stock. So now I'm going to add celery and onions. You know you need them. Add a little more onions. Somebody cut them up for me and I appreciate it. I'm going to get all that going real good. You want to just build that flavor up in there. It doesn't take long to make dumplings, but we want to make sure. Next, I'm going to start adding my meat. I have a combination of wing parts, boneless, skinless breast, and thighs. And the reason why I'm using the dark meat to go along with the white meat is because the dark meat is going to render the fat that I need. And then I'm going to cut up the white meat. Most dumplings are created with a combination of meat, dark and white. So that's what we're doing. We want to start now, just like it is, adding the curry. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't measure, but I know I'm going to use over a cup of curry. It's going to probably be more like 2 or 3 cups when I get finished. Because the whole point is that they be curry, what? Chicken and dumplings. So I'm going to get this flowing real good. Turn my meat over. And trust me, that's just the beginning of it. I'm going to add more and more. And I'm going to add me some turmeric in here. And I've got the chicken wings. Now, for me, I'll leave my chicken wings whole as I'm scooping out my dumpling. So I'm going to use the grounded curry now. And one thing I love about curry, especially with dumplings, if you don't want your dumplings to look like a pale white, you can use curry or you can use yellow dye, food dye. That'll work just fine. So let's get some more of this curry on here. It's according to how much, you know, you're trying to create the flavor of the curry. So you want to really get it in this chicken really good. Let's get it over here. It might seem like, wow, that's a lot. But if you cook Jamaican food, it takes a lot of curry. And boy, does my kitchen smell just like I'm in Jamaica. Oh my goodness. Makes me want to come climb a cool mountain. Because what's old is what's new. Yes, I'm going to use some saltless garlic herb. Salt Free by McCormick. And you know, when you're using salt-free stuff, you can use quite a bit. I haven't added any salt to this yet. And I will eventually, but I haven't yet. So I'm just making sure that my chicken is really getting the flavors that I need. That's why it's Curry Chicken and Dumplings. The dumplings are the same. The curry is going to come from the chicken. The flavor that you're going to want, the taste of the island. Yeah. I have some very good, great friends that are Jamaican that are part excellent cooks. So that's what we're doing. This is done in steps. This is your first step, because this is going to be boiling while we work on the dumplings. We're just going to add our chicken broth and water in here. Now I'm going to use a 32-ounce chicken broth. That's equivalent to 4 cups of broth. Okay. You see how I'm getting that really in there? Let me lift this up. See how it looks yellow? I'm really getting that flavor in the chicken. And I want the fat and everything. I'm just getting the flavors really incorporated in there before we add the broth. All right. So that's going to do that for just a few more minutes. And I'm going to add some chicken. Goya's chicken. They're like chicken bouillon. I'm going to add that, pack it in there. So I'm going to add some Goya's chicken bouillon in here. And then I'm also going to add me 4 to 6 cups of water, because I need this chicken to really cook. Yes, I do. That's why I'm not adding any salt, because some of these seasonings can have salt in them. Okay. These are chicken bouillons by Goya. These are little packets. You building your flavors. I don't like dumplings that don't have flavor. I've eaten some people's dumplings and it felt like I was just eating a bunch of unflavored dough. And I don't like that. Water don't come seasoned. Your meat may sometimes, but it wasn't born seasoned. So that's what we're doing. Okay. Getting ready to go to the next step. Then we're going to put a lid on it. Then I'm going to come back and show y'all what we're doing. There we go. So now what I'm about to do, I'm about to use a 32-ounce chicken broth. Use whoever you want to. Which is about 4 cups of broth. And I'm going to add more curry. And now I'm about to use and add the 4 cups of water. Because I use this bottle of this 32 ounces, and 32 ounces is 4 cups. Okay? And you want plenty of juice because it's going to cook a while. And we're going to put a lid on it. And get it stirred up. And I'm going to add some more curry. Yes, I am. And we're going to slow stew this for a while. We want that flavor in there. That's the whole purpose. It's called Curry Chicken and Dumplings. So I'm going to put a lid on it. Be careful with the curry and the turmeric because it can stain your cabinets. And so when I come back, we'll go to part 2. Let's get this done. I'm going to use half a can of coconut milk. That's next. I'm going to pour it right in to my chicken. And I'm going to stir it up real good. My broth is going to be amazing, I promise y'all. I'll see y'all back in just a second. This is how we're doing it. While the water is boiling, let's get into making the dumplings. So this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use 2 cups of flour. Okay, that's 2 cups of self-rising flour. I'm going to add a 1/4 a cup of shortening. This is Crisco. Okay. And I know some people use a pastry fork, but if y'all been watching me long enough, y'all know I use my hand. I just use my hand, and I'm going to work this in really good till it's crumbly. I'm making quite a bit of dumplings because I'm going to share these. So I got to get this in here really good. Then the next thing, I'm going to incorporate a little milk at a time. I've got 1 cup of buttermilk. I wanted the shortening to become crumbly. See how crumbly that is? That's what you want before you incorporate the milk. Okay, that's good. Next, we're going to add the milk a little at a time. Reach over here and get some milk. Which I know I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and use this whole cup. Because I know I'm going to use a whole cup of buttermilk. And I'm going to work that in there really good. I want these a little dense. A little bit more than I would regular biscuits. Let me add just a little bit more. Hold on. Just a little bit more. Buttermilk. Just a tad. Put that in there. And I'm going to scrape the inside. Get all of it out. Okay. Good. Let's get that worked in there. Throughout. Then I'm going to shake a little flour and fold it. You want them dense. You don't want them as loose as a biscuit. Not quite as sticky. So next I'm going to wash my hands. And we're going to roll these out, okay? Now I'm going to shake a little flour. A little flour out on my board. Put a little bit over here in the corner so that I can use it for my rolling pin. But I'm going to smooth that out just a little bit. Then I'm going to dump my biscuit, or in other words, my dumplings, made out of the same thing. Then I'm just going to take it. I'm going to work it really good. Just fold it over the extra flour to make it even more dense. Okay. You can hear the salted water boiling over there. Water doesn't come seasoned. Sometimes you don't need it to. So I'm going to work this so that it can become really dense. Can y'all see really good? I'm just folding it and pressing. I'm just folding it and pressing it. Then I'm going to fold it this way because I want it dense. I need them tighter than a biscuit. Okay? And the reason why I left a little flour over in the corner is because I'm going to roll my pin with a little flour, and we're going to roll this out, and we're going to cut these real quick fast. So what we're going to do is just put a little flour on the rolling pin. Get it pressed out a little bit so it's not so much hard work. Now you can leave your dumplings as thick as you want them. Just all depends on your taste. When I grew up, honey, we didn't roll them thin. Our biscuits, or our dumplings, had the biscuit touch to them. And that's just totally up to you. It's no right or wrong. You can't let nobody convince you that they like thin dumplings the size of a noodle because yours is not, that something is wrong with your dumpling. It is not. That's just a preference. I like mine with a little thick to mine. And if you ever ate Jamaican dumplings, they're going to be thick anyway. So these have a little thickness to them. They're not extremely thin. The thinner, I could roll it out and make so many more. But that's pretty much how I do it. Okay? So now we're just going to simply cut these out. You can use whatever you got. You can use a knife. You can use a fork. Whatever you got. You can cut them in strips. Just like that. Depending on how big you want your dumpling. Okay? Just cut them. Okay? Then I just take and I just cut across. This is how my dumpling is going to be. They're not going to be small dumplings. I'm making curry dumplings. And if you were eating dumplings, Jamaican dumplings, they would be even more dense than these. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to get over here and drop some of these along with the flour. I'm going to shake some of them in flour. Add a little more flour to make it dense. So you would just take a little flour and shake on them. I'm going to roll these out. And then I'm going to drop them in boiling water. Okay? So these are going to be fluffy. These are not going to be a noodle. If I wanted a noodle dumpling, I would just use egg noodles. Okay? So I'm going to come over here to the water. And I'm going to put them in this boiling water that I have salt. Now I'm not using my curry chicken broth because it's got oil in it. And we need these to rise to the occasion. But I am going to use some of the starchy water to thicken these dumplings as they get going. Okay? So when we come back, we'll go to the next step. I added a little, about a tablespoon of turmeric because we want those not to look pale and dense. Okay? These are how my mom did dumplings. They're big and fluffy and good, okay? They're big and fluffy and they're good. Excuse the little boil over. Turn it that way to make it happen. Now over here, I have my curry chicken going. Now I left whole chicken in here, okay? Some of these pieces are drumettes and thighs. What I'm going to do is I chopped up some thighs off of the bone. Dark meat works the best. So I'm going to add a little more chicken in here, okay? I added the dark with the little white. Okay, that's enough. And it's going to continue to pull the curry. And due to the oil that pulls off of it, I'm going to put the dumplings in once they're completed. So far, I've been cooking the dumplings for about 20 minutes. So when I get through, I'm going to put it all together for you and we're going to enjoy it. Now I'm incorporating the dumplings into the curry, along with the broth that is thick. It's going to thicken up the curry broth. Incorporating the dumplings. Don't that look wonderful? Gonna dip so good. I cooked the dumplings for about 30 minutes. I'm incorporating them. We wanted them big, right? We're gonna simmer. And when we get back, honey, y'all gonna see the outcome. This is curry chicken and dumplings. See you in just a little bit. Get in there. Yeah, get in there.